And hello, Texas. Don't turn that dial. This is the Fly Mackey Show, and I'm your host, Fly Mackey. It is good to be with you tonight and all over the United States. Welcome, Bruce Porter's. All of Bruce's audience out there is 154,000 followers. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, we're live. Yeah, we're live in the great state of Texas and Louisiana on television, so on our broadcast television network, and all over the United States. We have followers in Dubai and Saudi Arabia and Indonesia and Ireland and the United Kingdom and Mexico and Canada and all over the East Coast up there and the West Coast and everywhere you can imagine here in the United States. But thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you. Tell all your friends and family. Say, let's go watch that crazy Indian talk about all kinds of BS that has no idea what he's talking about half the time. I love that. If you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of? I mean, seriously. If you have a question, let me see here. Post it. So a lot of questions asked all the time about credit. What do you want to know about credit? How do you get credit? The last couple of days, we've had some really crazy, a couple of folks they contacted us and they asked us. They said they cut their credit cards up and they canceled their lines of credit. And one guy runs $1 million a year through so he has a nice business, He's doing just about $100,000 a month that he's collecting, and it all goes out, like 100% of it. And then he uses a little bit of his credit. He's got like $20,000 on a credit line, and then he's got like $40,000 on credit cards, and he spends that money and then pays them off like every 60 days. But all his cash, like $100,000 worth of cash, goes out the bank and never comes back. But while it's sitting there, because he keeps a high average balance, of about $40,000 to $60,000 in there all the time, because he's going to spend it at the end of the month. He's going to spend it, and he's always got more coming in, right? He's always rotating about $100,000, but it's all gone. It always goes away because he spends it. Now that $100,000 that he has in there average about $60,000 every single month, averaging in there end of month balances, and then he's going to drop more money and he's going to spend it. He's going to get more money and he's going to spend it. Okay. While that money's sitting there, that $60,000, just know this. Let's do the math on this. This is just incredible. But this is what we give up when we $60,000 times 10. That's what we give up right there. We're giving up. Okay. He's got it on average about $60,000 in there. They take that $60,000 average he has, and then they're loaning out $600,000 of his money every single month that he does this. It's insane. It's called fractional banking, what they do with our money. and we give up the right to all that principal that we put into the bank. We give up that right to all that interest that we put into the bank. We give it up, and it's ours. Like, why do we give it up? Well, it's because we don't know. So don't beat yourself up. 99.9%, I'm just throwing a number out. We don't know that we're giving up our rights. That's all we know, because that's what they tell us. And it's not to their advantage to tell us anything different. Matter of fact, they're not even allowed to tell us. They're not allowed. But even if they were, like, people wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. The banks would love to get out trillions of dollars that's sitting there at the Federal Reserve. Trillions. They would love to get that out. There's trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars sitting there on the shelf. Trillions of dollars sitting on the shelf. Fed Reserve. Federal Reserve. Central banks. U.S. government with its 23 million, the federal government, 23 million employees. It's the biggest organism. It's the biggest living organism in the entire world. Now there's companies that have hundreds of thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands. But we're talking a massive flotation of money, of departments, of bureaucracy, of shadow government, of the deep state. And I'm not against any of it. Listen, you're not going to get me to do that. I'm not against it. Should we be against it? Yeah, I'm guessing we should, but that won't get you anywhere when it comes to your own money. And when you learn to be in charge of your economy, then everything will change for you. Everything will change when you become in charge of your own economy. And we all can do it. The question is how. And I can tell you that, but let me get back to the point. So you have the Federal Reserve, central banks, U.S. government, USA. That's me and you. Me and you. That's me and you, the United States. The Federal Reserve prints money. The central bank, it goes to the central bank. The central banks, now part of this goes straight to the U.S. government. About 18%, give or take, of what they print goes to the U.S. government. Give or take, okay? Not quite, but about that, 18%. It's between 10 and 20, but let's just say 18%, okay? The central banks get about 10%, 10 to 18%. But let's just put that. The rest is on this shelf right here. The rest goes on the shelf, 64% or more goes to the shelf. The federal government's going to spend like crazy, but the federal government, that 18% they're getting is going to come through the central bank first. But they have all this covert stuff and stuff that they've been funding for decades and decades, where now the U.S. government goes directly here instead of here. Okay? Because really, the U.S. government owns the Federal Reserve through Congress. We'll do a deep dive on this one of these days. We'll do a deep dive where we'll show you, and it's not a secret. This is not a secret. None of this is a secret. What I'm telling you is for everybody to go out and find out for yourself. It's not a secret. Like, it's out in the open. We just don't go study it. And then we keep sending perverts and drug addicts and alcoholics and really weird people up there to Congress, and the senators are weirder. I know if I've had them in my penthouse. I'm not going to say who. I had a penthouse there in Phoenix, Arizona, the tallest penthouse that on the 30th floor of a building over there at the W6. I had it up there for years. It's 13,000 square feet, the entire 30th floor. I saw so much kitty that when I left, I told Amber, I said, if I don't see another kitty for the next year, I'm going to be okay. And she goes, well, don't forget my kitty. I'm like, oh, no. Yours, hallelujah. Thank you, baby Jesus. But any other one, don't want to see it no more. I mean, that penthouse, whew, I love it. And some crazy things goes on in that. You know what they say, what goes on in the penthouse stays in the penthouse, right? But I've had lots of actors and entertainers and politicians and athletes. Man, they get up there and behind closed doors looking over the entire city. Man, it would make people do really weird stuff. Okay, but we had really strange parties. And we had a lot of charity too. But I'm just trying to tell you, these guys are freaks, man. The majority, I would say, if I was going to put a percentage on it, I'd say like 85% minimum of congressional, congressmen and congresswomen and senators are straight up freaks. Serious freaks. Okay? Closet freaks. I'm not suicidal. So if something happens, they don't care about me. I'm nobody. I can talk about them all day long, but I'm telling you now, about 85 is probably, Bruce, what do you think? It's probably higher than that. Probably higher than that. But straight across the board, I'd say about 85 of them are total freaks, man. You would not want them babysitting your children because they are total freaks. I mean, you just do the investigating on how many of them have bad credit. The majority of congressmen have bad credit. They couldn't even get credit cards. They can't get credit. Can't get it. Do you know how many of them have got DUIs, got caught for shoplifting, have been arrested, assault and battery on their wives or husbands or whatever they have back there? So anyway, they're all freaks, the majority of them. But I've got way off track here. Anyway, so I was talking about the money and the money flow, right? Federal Reserve, they print, and about 64% of it is actually a little bit higher, but I'm being generous right now. Goes right up on that shelf, and it never sees the light of day. Never sees the light of day. The goal to these guys, not so much these guys, but these guys, is to get the money from here, which is actually right here, and to give it here. This is where they want the money to go, to here. And about 10% of all this makes it into our economy. About 10%. We're on TV break on the broadcast homes, but with the internet, you guys with X and everybody else, I'm staying with you, okay? So the money that's printed that comes here, these guys are desperate to get it into the economy because our U.S. economy is so big. It is a machine that is so huge, and it runs, once again, where are we here? Right there. Oh, hold on a second. Share tab. Where are we? There we are right there. Share. There we go. No. Yeah, let's put my big head up here. Heck with them. Our economy is huge. Look at that, $34 trillion. Yeah, most of this is to the government, that 34 trillion, but our economy, look at the rest of it. It is so big. It is so big. It is a magnificent machine. And the banks are desperate to get it over here. Only about 10% of those trillions ever make it, and the rest of it's sitting on the shelf. They're desperate to get it to you. But we don't know how to get it. Most of us, I shouldn't say we don't know how. There's a lot of people out there. I'll do a whole show on the underdeveloped class. There's the billionaires, the centimillionaires, the 1%. The financial world out there has 5 classifications of us Americans: billionaires, centimillionaires, those are the 100 millionaires to the billionaire. The 1%ers, that's the broadest group. That's people who make $440,000 up to 100 million. And then you have, that's the smallest group. Then you have, but it's a good group. Then you have the underdeveloped group. And that group right there is the majority of us. Those are folks who make $39,000 a year to $150,000 a year. That's 95 million Americans. But it's the biggest block of money in all of America, $24 trillion sitting there. And most of it, and I can tell you, and that's not including the real estate or property that's owned with the real estate, or that's owned separate from the real estate. It's not including the land. We're talking cash. We're talking what's called disposable income, which means you could spend it today. And you could go gamble it away in Vegas, or you could go buy a piece of property or a house, right? You could make an investment. You could send your kids to college with it. You could spend 100, 200, 300, up to 700,000 if that's what your disposable income is. And when it goes away, it has nothing to do with your 401ks, your IRAs, your mutual funds, your stocks and bonds, your retirements, your house. Has nothing to do with that. It's disposable, which means you can spend it, okay? It's the biggest block of money in America, and majority of it is just sitting there. But it's with people who have, the majority of them have great credit. 64 million of you guys out there in that block. 64 million of you that's in that underdeveloped class who make between 39,000 and 150,000. The one thing that the financial institutions haven't been able to break into this class is because the majority of these 95 million aren't watching ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox. the major networks or even the mid-range networks. Now, they're not watching them anymore for lots of reasons. We won't get into that today. But most of these guys are on what's called local broadcast television, like I own, and that Bruce's shows are on every day, Monday through Friday. We're back on TV in hello, Corpus Christi, Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Texas, and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Coming soon to Tallahassee. Yeah, hello, guys and gals. Thank you for inviting us into your home there and here. We're going to be traveling soon to the great state of California. Is the place it ought to be. So they loaded up the truck and we moved to Beverly's. I don't remember the rest of the song, but that was the Beverly Hillbillies. I love that song. I love that show. Yes. It's Central Standard Time. I think it's the same as you, Michael. Yes. So I don't know if he's watching. Let me send a message. Hold on a second. Give me just a second, Michael, and I'll call you and we'll have a conversation, okay? Give me just a second. Let me finish this point right here. We're going to have a special guest on here in just a second. We're going to talk a little bit about credit, and you'll get to hear the conversation, okay? But once again, okay. So these guys who print and these guys who receive desperately wants to make it here. Okay. It can't make it here. Okay, Michael, it can't make it here until we learn how to do this. We're talking individually, really. The underwriters at the banks, these banks, go straight to the Federal Reserve, straight to them. Matter of fact, a lot of these guys right here at the credit industry, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, other financial industry, the big central bank people and the Federal Reserve, they have offices, and this is not secret. We're not giving away any secret or anything like that. This is all basic knowledge stuff, okay? They all have offices at the corporate level of these big banks. Okay, now they're not out there advertising themselves. They're just regular old Jane and Joe Americans like me and you who have to have a key. You get in, bam, the key, goes around your neck, lets you in the building, kind of like what we have on my phone. And they're not big executives or anything like that. They're just regular old folks who work as underwriters. And then when you get a relationship manager, somebody who really knows what they're doing, they actually can talk to the underwriters. They come and take those applications directly to the underwriters there. And then they grab the money directly from here. That's setting up on the shelf. That's where they're grabbing. And they get 10 times what you get. So if you get $50,000 in credit, they're getting $500,000. It's the way it works. And so not only are the banks taking advantage of us taking advantage of us by going over there. Now, by the way, you can get this too. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Okay. It is what it's the system that we're in. So that's okay. But once again, once you know how to work this system right here, this system here, once you learn how to work the system, then you can get the same kind of stuff, the funds that the banks get directly. Okay. And then once you take back your rightful position of getting back your banking transactions and learning how to, and where you are in control of your own banking transactions, just like what the bank does with your money, you do with your money. But once you learn how to do that, then you can start functioning exactly like a bank. And when that happens, then you get to be in charge of the principal and then the interest that gets made on your principal. And then when you want to borrow money, you can borrow money from that principal. Bada bing, bada bang. Out of the 425 of you watching, none of you have any questions? Hi, Bruce. It's hard to believe none of you have any questions. That's okay. You don't have to ask any questions. That's like an 8-second delay. We have like an 8-second delay on what I say, and after it hits the broadcast, and there's reasons for that for having the delays. It's funny how it was. So 821 of you have seen this and a little bit of it. And then we have a steady viewership of 440 views. Thank you. Appreciate that. You guys go support Bruce and what he's doing. Hit that like button and the follow button. If you're new and you're not following Bruce, then hit that like button or hit that follow button and follow him. And let's get Bruce up to, let's get him up to 155,000. Yep, a lot of questions. Hold on one second. Okay, so once again, this is the key, is to learn how to so these guys right here, these three right here, and there's more here, are desperate to get that money right here. This is where they're trying to get this money right here. So when you learn how to do the debt, like I'm showing you on the debt calculator, be a part of that, then you can go literally bypass these three and literally go right here. Now, when that happens, these guys get involved. These guys get involved. It's a little difficult to understand how this all. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you. 475 viewers. Thank you, guys. Okay. Thank you. Hit the like button for Bruce here. And also, too, if you're not following Bruce, hit the follow button and follow him. Okay, let's make a phone call here. Okay, all right. All right, we just put out a survey there. Would you rather have 250,000 in credit, or would you rather, or would you ever rather have a mortgage, a home with a mortgage? Yeah. Thank you, Bruce. I love it. Bruce Porter, he is the shit, man. I'm telling you. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you. That guy's the guy, man. Becoming a legend. Anyway, hold on 1 second. Hello. Michael? Yes. Hey, good evening. This is Fly Mackey. How are you? Good, sir. All right. And you're up in this is Elaine Fly Mackey. Hi, Elaine.
Hi there.
How are you tonight?
I'm fabulous.
I hear you're the one with all the credit.
I try.
So, your husband reached out to us, and we were having a good conversation today. Did he fill you in on any of the conversation?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And so you guys have a painting business. He has a painting business, and then do you do that with him, or you have your own little gig going on?
Well, I actually care for my two elderly parents, and it's pretty much full time.
Oh yeah. That's like 2 full-time jobs.
Trust me, it is.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. And so Michael was saying, now Michael, we won't say your guys' last names, but Michael and Elaine, and you guys have a business, or Michael does, where you're making like 100,000, and together you guys make about 130,000, maybe 140,000 a year. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And out of that 130 or 140,000, how much of that are you guys able to keep?
It's probably 30, I would say.
About 30,000 of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so what are you doing with that 30,000 that you have?
Well, lately, mostly we've been blowing it, but
I love that.
But to be fair, but and on top of it, Elaine started paying, back some of the credit cards from when we fell down there with the COVID, and then my business basically just shrinking up to nothing. I went from, like 40 grand a month to nothing,
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge, and ended up running the credit up quite a bit, and then it put us up to about like the last year, and then now the last year is where we are now. And like I said, with the 30 extra, we just basically, we did pay some debts, some of the credit cards and the other odds and ends.
Okay. So what you would normally put away as for like a rainy day or for investments or something like that, because your income has gone down, because of whatever situations, that that extra 30,000 is going to paying off bills. And just, are you eating out a lot? Like are you going on vacation? Like some of that you're spending on entertainment in yourself?
No entertainment, no eating out, no getting coffee. Yeah, we're very frugal.
Okay, got no daily coffees. I heard that, Elaine. Yeah. Yeah. People don't realize, that daily coffee adds up into the tens of thousands of dollars.
I know.
Yeah, it adds up. Okay. And so Elaine, you had credit, right?
Yes.
Okay. And can you explain to me a little bit about what you did with your credit cards?
I paid off, not paid off, I charged food, things like that, are daily living expenses that normally I would have cash for. But of course, the cash dried up.
Okay. So, well, let's start with this. So you live with your parents now, right?
Yes.
And you and Michael, your monthly expenses that you have, your full expenses, credit card payments, line of credit, mortgage. You don't have a mortgage. Your house, your parents is paid for, right? Their house or
Yeah.
okay. And you're living in their house that's paid for, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And so gas, food, insurance, what would you say your total monthly expenses be?
4,000 a month.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. Maybe a little more.
So when you say maybe a little bit more,
Yeah, it's plus or minus 100.
gotcha. Plus or minus 100. Okay. And sometimes, so now, Elaine, you make a regular check whether your husband does or not, right?
Oh, yeah, well, that's an annuity check, yeah.
That's
That's over the loss of my son.
oh, nice. Oh, sorry about that. But when I said nice, I meant you had other income coming in than your parents. So you have an annuity. How much is that coming in?
It is 2,200 a month, and it goes up 4% every year.
Which doesn't stay above inflation much.
Well, that's not bad if it goes up 4% a year. And how long are you going to get that?
Well, until I'm 82.
Till when?
I'm 82 years old.
Okay, till you're 82. And how many more years is that going to be?
Almost 30. Actually 26, but I'm trying not to give her age out.
Well, I was going to ask you, Elaine, I'm sorry. Nobody on TV here is going to know who you are, okay? You can give him the elbow. You can give him the elbow if you want, all right?
I'm too far away.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious. I love that. Okay. So goes up 4% a year for the next 26 years. Okay. And so besides that annuity, do you get paid any money taking care of your mom and dad?
No,
Okay.
they earn too much money, believe it or not, on Social Security for me to qualify, getting paid by the state to take care of them.
Okay. And then what are they doing with their money? Are they helping you, or do they have expenses, or are they just basically living and putting their money away?
They have their money in a few things that are private, I don't know about, I don't ask about, and they're very frugal.
But they're doing just fine.
Yeah, yes, they are.
And the house is paid for.
Yes.
Okay. Do they loan you money, or are they ever willing to give you money, or?
If I ask for it, yes. But not, I'm not gonna say like thousands. A couple hundred if we need it.
Gotcha.
I've been slowly paying back credit cards, and sometimes.
Yeah, we'll get to that one in just a second. Okay. And so 2,200 is your basic income that comes in every single month, no matter what.
Right.
And are you working any other jobs, or is it just taking care of your parents?
Just my parents.
Okay. Now, Michael, sometimes you make a lot, sometimes you make a little, but on average, when you're averaging it out, $100,000 a year, right?
Gross, yes.
Okay. So that's what they're actually giving you, or that's what you actually have put in the banks.
Right, but like I said, that's gross, so it's not.
Yeah, right. That's big time money right there. That's $8,333 and 33 cents average.
But like I said, some months nothing, you know. Like I just come off a 4-week period now where we haven't made nothing.
But it still averaged 100,000 last year, right?
Yeah.
And how much are you averaging this year? Do you know? Like, what are your deposits? How much have you deposited this year?
60. Yeah, about 60, I would say.
So you're probably on track to doing 120 this year instead of 100.
No, because like I said, I just missed 6 weeks. I had another 6 or 8 week period throughout the year. would say we'll be close to the same money again.
But that ain't bad. You've missed a couple of months where you've made no money, and you still made 60,000.
Right. I'm not saying it's not bad, I'm just saying, it's gross, so, then at the end of the year, the taxes and, I got whatever else. I don't have a new truck, any new things I have to soon buy,
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Wow, this is good. All right. But it still averaged 8,003. No matter what, you still averaged $8,333 last year. So far this year, you've put in $60,000, and in 7 months, let's just do the math for our audience here. 60,000 divided by the last 7.5 months is still $8,000. You're still on track to doing that same amount that you did last year. Gotcha. So together, on average, you're bringing in about $10,000 a month.
Yes.
Okay. Or maybe closer to 10,500. Let's just say 10,000.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
The gross is important.
No, it's not important. No, it's not.
It used to be, because I still got to pay out almost $27,000 at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
Yeah, well, okay. But if we could teach you how to become your own banker and then borrow back your own money,
Yeah, that would be different.
that's a whole different subject there, because that's what we're talking about. And by the way, almost everyone is in the same boat that you are. They're like, oh my gosh, I got to pay all this. We had a customer or a client up there in Canada that just paid like 16,000 in insurance. He pays all his insurance for his farm and all his vehicles and his health insurance all at one time. 16, almost 18. I think it was almost $17,000 all at one time. Then he pays something else. He pays everything in big chunks all at the same time. So
I like doing it that way. If you got the money, it's not an issue. I prefer to pay my things out for the whole year. But it is what it is.
yeah, gotcha. Okay, so on average about 10,000 a month, and your bills. So where's that extra $6,000 going, Elaine and Michael? Are you saying you're using all $6,000 to pay off your bills?
We paid $5,000 in house, for what did I forgot what it was. I put it together. $4,000 for everything here, as the house, the rental, the phones, the TV. Everything is at $5,000 there. So now we're back to $3,000 extra income a month.
Gotcha.
$6,000 that's not accounted for, let's say.
So 5,000, and then so now you have that extra 5,000. What do you do with it?
There's not an extra 5,000. You keep saying that, but there's not. There's no extra 5,000.
So if you take the $10,000 average that you make, and subtract your 5,000 in monthly bills, that
No, yeah, I know what you're saying, but it's not 10,000. You're adding up to wrong. It's it's $8,000, no more than that a month. No matter how you do it.
Between you and the missus.
Yeah, that's it. There's only 8,000 here. There's not 10,000.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's if that only comes if every month. You know, like I said, it has 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Well, you know, 6. It's not every month, and it makes a big difference that it's not every month.
Right. Yeah. Because you have to compensate. Right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or especially when you're compensating without any place to borrow, is makes it really hard.
Okay. All right.
Not really hard. It just makes it difficult.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like we have.
You're trying to steal. You steal from Peter to pay Paul.
Sometimes, yes, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So, but for the sake of our conversation, we can't say you don't get paid for 2 months in this because it still averages out the $8,300 a month, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when it's all said and done, if everything was in a perfect world and that you got paid every month, that along with her $2,200, that would come to $8,333. And then after your $5,000 worth of bills, you'd have $3,300 left, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what are you doing with that $3,300?
Right now, we haven't been doing nothing except paying back some of the old bills. And yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's get to that. Elaine, you have credit cards, correct?
Wait a minute, what was that?
You have credit cards?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, you should be jumping up and down for joy that you have credit.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I'm jumping.
Are you looking at the TV screen?
No,
Are you looking at the internet on a computer?
no, we're just talking on the phone.
Do you have a computer?
Yeah.
Well, turn down the volume, but turn on your computer and go to smartmoneyculture.tv. You're going to see me live on television.
Okay.
And I'm broadcasting everything back from our TV network here in Texas back to the internet. So we're live on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Of course, nobody knows your last names, but they're just hearing the conversation, right?
Okay.
And unless you want to put that beautiful face out there, then I'll.
No, thank you. That's just too weird.
Well, a lot of weird people get on TV. You know what I mean? I was just talking about that just a few minutes ago. Anyway, we're glad to have you either way.
Thank you. Oh, we need to know the address again.
It's smartmoneyculture.tv.
Okay.
Smartmoneyculture.tv.
Gate that somewhere along the line. Smart
Money culture. We're slow.
That you just take your time. You take your time.
Well,
We got a great audience. We have about 1,600 people here on the internet watching us. About 900 people live right now. And then, of course, we've got probably 20,000 here in Houston watching us live, but they don't know who you are.
but we're kind of famous now.
Oh, you're famous. I love you guys already. That's great. Thanks for reaching out to us. Okay, so tell me, did you find it, Michael?
No. I was, I got it running, and I'm not a real big computer guy. I cast this typer with 2 fingers, there it is, but yeah.
Search in the web.
Smartmoneyculture.com.
.tv.
Oh, .tv.
Okay.
That makes a big difference. We should have just wrote it down. It would have been a lot.
I just sent it to you.
Yeah, TV brought it right up.
Yeah, smartmoneyculture.tv.
And then where do we go on?
No, just turn your volume down so that you can't hear it.
Shoot, there won't be any volume. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, the reason we'll hear the backup noise.
Right.
I mean, you can have it up a little bit. Do you see my big old Indian head?
2 seconds delay. I'm sure.
Oh, we have a commercial on.
Oh, it's the commercial. That's because we're on. That's broadcast television, and so every 15 minutes or so we run television commercials out here in our market,
Right.
and those are the commercials that are going on. But you'll see my big old Indian head here in a second.
That makes money. That makes you the money.
Yeah. Well, we had to pay the bills, you know.
Exactly.
We had to pay the bills. So tell me a little bit about your credit. How much are your credit cards still active, Elaine?
No,
So when you say no, you canceled them, or they're no, if you had paid them off 100%, would you be able to still use them?
no.
Okay.
Supposedly they were written off. Now, if you are coming back to haunt me, but I'm working with them to pay.
I would 100% stop paying them today. I'm not a financial advisor. We don't do that. You know, we don't have a series 6 or 7, but as just a friend to friend, stop paying them.
Okay.
100% stop paying them. Number one, it's never going to help your credit. They already screwed you, or you've already screwed yourself. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Michael, I promised I wasn't going to say anything crazy.
No, yeah, I know. You guys can, do what you gotta do. I mean, to get people to do it.
Yeah, no, you guys are great participants. Stop paying. No, I'm not giving any advice, but if I was in your shoes, why would I pay somebody who's no longer giving me credit? They're writing it off. They're going to get paid 100% by the feds or by the banking system. The financial system is going to pay them 100% of the money.
So, well, I'm paying yet like a third party, right?
So yeah, I know, but now that not only, so that's all that is and I'm not against the third party. They have the right to do some business if they want to, because this is America. Anybody can create a business, but they're doing nothing for you. That third party is doing zero for you. They're not helping you. They're helping you pay a bill that you're never going to help. It's never going to raise your credit score ever, because you did a consolidation. So you already messed up your credit by doing that. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm paranoid. I like to pay bills. I get nervous.
Well, I would not pay them, but well, you don't need to be paranoid, because a third party has come in and they're getting paid probably 60, 70% of what you're paying, because they made a deal with the credit card industry to collect at least 10%. So anything over that, they are pocketing.
Wow. Okay. Well, they threatened me with like taking me to court and all that.
They're not going to do that. Who did? The third party did?
Yeah, but they're lawyers or something.
No, they don't have no lawyers.
No, they are lawyers.
No, they may be. They may be, but all they did was buy your debt, which is illegal.
Oh, it is.
100% illegal.
I did not know that.
According to the Fair Credit Act, and by the way, this is for all you 982 listeners out there. When you got somebody coming towards you, when some third party buys your debt, that is 100% illegal. Not allowed. Don't collect $200. Don't get out of jail. They totally right up to you know where.
Oh boy, it wasn't fun though.
Well, if I can back up a second, there is something very rewarding for paying off our debts. Very rewarding. It gives us a real sense of pride. And I totally understand that, where you're coming from. But once again, it's not needed. Yeah. So a couple of things here for the audience, the 995 people that are listening to us live here, and then our network here out in TV land. when a third party buys your debt, that is 100% illegal, number one, for them to buy it, but they do it anyway. And it's 100% illegal for them to come after you. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I did play one on the radio once. So you can go do your research and you will find out the same thing that I'm telling you is true. So when they say, we're lawyers and we'll come after you, you tell them, hominy, hominy, Nabisco, good luck to you. See you later.
I'm watching you now. We got you fine.
You see the big Indian? Holy cow. That's me.
You are adorable.
Well, I'm 62 years old, adorable. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm getting old, guys. I'm just like you two. We're getting there, right?
Yeah, well, Mike's 62 as well.
Yeah. And Michael, how old are you?
62.
We're all 362?
No, she's not. She's not 60.
I'm 59.
Oh, you're 59. You're still a baby.
Yeah.
She's 50 and older.
I love it. I love it. So, all right. You can do your research on what I just told you, but I would 100% stop. I would not pay them one more dime.
Okay.
Yeah. So are all your credit cards gone now?
No, I have some new ones, but they're low, but like $1,000. And one is 700. And like then I got like the finger hut thing, but I don't use it. You know, I just have, that's 3,000 now. They went up from 1,000 to 3. They want me to use it.
Hold on a second. I'm writing this down.
Yeah.
Are any of these credit cards from a major bank?
I have a bank, like MasterCard.
Like Chase Bank?
Oh, no. One is in Missouri. And that's the only one I really read.
But the $3,000 credit card?
Well, it's not a credit card. It's credit with a store, a company.
Oh, so it's not but it has the Visa logo on it.
No, but the Merrick Bank, if you ever heard of that, is Visa.
And how much is on that card? Or how much is what credit line did they give you?
That one was 700.
That was 700. And that has a Visa.
Yes.
Okay, and the $1,000 one? Yep, take your time.
That was Merrick. Mission Lane is the other one.
Is that a Visa or MasterCard?
That one is a Visa.
Visa. And that's $1,000. But the $3,000 card does not have a Visa or MasterCard on it?
Right.
Yeah, I would not use that card ever.
Yeah, I don't. And I have one called Milestone, and it's a MasterCard, and that has 500.
Ooh. So the credit cards that you canceled,
Yes.
what was the credit line on those?
Oh, I had a Discover at 11,000. I opened some at 5,000. I had very good credit. I always paid my bills. Always. I learned that from my dad.
Okay, so 11,000 was the Discover. The 5,000 was what?
Another Visa. It was, I believe, a Capital One.
Okay. And then what was your other credit card?
Another Capital One for 2,000. I'm trying to think. Who else did
The
I?
bank, the local bank down there. It was a
Oh, that was a loan.
That was a credit.
Yeah. No, that's not a credit card.
That was with the credit union?
I had a loan with the credit union for 10,000. And I paid almost all of it, but the last 1,000 I didn't get to.
And then what happened?
Well, that's the one I'm paying a third party for.
Why would you pay them?
I don't, they scared me with they're gonna like arrest me and I have to go to court.
Oh, I'd tell them to call the fat little Indian. Say, call that Indian out in Arizona and tell him that. I'll stick my foot so far up their ass. All the way from Arizona, I swear, I'll grow my leg 1,000 miles.
Oh my goodness.
When I'm done with them, they're going to taste rubber. They're going to say, that Indian's got rubber on his shoe.
I can taste it.
Sorry for cussing, America. You're not supposed to. The FCC does not like when you cuss on television. Yeah, I'm sorry I did that, guys. I won't do that again. Here in about 48 minutes, when I'm not broadcasting on TV, I'll cuss like a sailor on the internet because they don't care. Yeah, I can go crazy. I love to cuss. My pastor, and I'm not a very good Christian. I'm pretty much the worst kind of Catholic you could ever be. You know what I mean? Holidays and stuff like that. Every once in a while, like if I go do something that like I'm not supposed to, I'll go and talk to the priest about it and stuff like that. And he goes, man, you're just an awful human being. And I go, I know, that's why I'm coming to you. Now, okay, America, now I want you guys to listen to this. Elaine had great credit. She gave up an $11,000 credit card, a $5,000 credit card, a $2,000 credit card. She skipped paying she had a loan for 10 grand. That was from the credit union.
Yes.
You only owed 1,000 on that and paying it.
Yeah.
And she gave all that up to a third party so that they could pay the bills for her to get a $500 credit card and a $700 credit card. I don't know. That's going to make me want to take a nap. I'm like,
I know. I nap all day.
But what made you? Did you go get any advice, Michael and Elaine, at all?
No.
You just believed them.
Yeah, I believe everybody. So.
Well, there's nothing wrong with believing people, but still, you see what you gave up in order to.
Well, it's been a few years, and then the offer started coming. You know, but they're just trying to get me hooked again.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nothing wrong with getting credit. You want credit.
Right.
You want the credit.
Build it.
Well, you already had it.
Yeah.
So just what I want to tell you, America, if Michael at the time would have taken all his income and put it into that $11,000 credit card, Michael, you've never had a credit card?
Yeah, I've had credit cards, but to be fair, at that time, what happened was we had 18 months without any work. I went from $60,000 a month to nothing for 18 months.
And that's why
all the credit card debt got in and all the other.
Because you were living above your means?
Yeah, because we had none. None at all.
But how can you go from $60,000 a month and not be able to afford to live when you're making $60,000 a month?
I wasn't making, that's what I'm just saying. I wasn't making 60 for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
We never put anything away.
During the COVID, we went straight to we went to zero. 1 month we were right straight to zero, and didn't pick it back up for 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, that's when we were living on most, a good part of the credit cards and the loans, monies, and my business loan money and things like that.
Gotcha. But you've never had credit.
Well, yeah, no, I had credit, yeah.
But you can cash for one.
Yeah, but I did have credit. I had, like 40 grand, I think, I had a business line of credit and a business credit card that was, about 40 grand on it, I think, between the two, at least 40. Actually, it's 37 on the credit line and 28 on the credit card is what it was.
Okay. That's $68,000.
Right.
Can you guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Right here. I cut mine. Mine was like that.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I made a mistake too.
Yeah. Okay. So if you would have, in America, I want you to watch this, America. If he was making at the time about 60,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you would have taken your revenue and dropped it into this line of credit, okay? Or first of all, let's start with your bills.
Well, yeah, but I could have been born rich and this never would have happened too.
No, you can't do that. Well, out of that $60,000, how much of that came out as bills?
Oh, 78.
Okay.
$78,000 at least, because the guys, they kept. I still owed them. I still owed them, their weekly money, so I had to pay them.
So you were in the deficit $18,000 every month?
Yeah. No, I was in deficit $18,000. Actually, I was deficit a lot more than that before the end of the year. But
No. What? Let me. Every month, you were making $60,000 a month.
Yep.
Out of that $60,000 a month, how much were your monthly bills?
Our monthly bills never changed.
No. Out of the $60,000, how much of that did you owe? You owed payroll, paint, trucks, gas. $78,000. So every month you were making 60, but you owed 78.
Just at the point of when the pandemic hit. So I had. Yeah, I had.
America, I want you to watch something, America. This is not good business. How can you be 18,000 in the hole every month? That's not a business.
That's what I just said. It wasn't every month. It was just for that 1 month.
No, I just need you to listen. You were in business for years and years and years.
Right.
Okay. So if you were making 60,000 a month, that's 720,000 a year.
The business was making that a month, not me.
No, you just follow. You just follow with me. You don't think for me or don't think for you. Just answer my questions. Okay. I'm trying to make this easy on you. I'm going to show you where you could have go when you get to making money again. I'm going to show you the path, but you just answer my questions. That'll make it easier. Okay. Okay. So at your peak, when you were making money, when you had your business, your average monthly was about $60,000 a month in revenue.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter whether it was gross, net, or anything. Sticks and stones and trading pigs and cows.
ahead then.
You had a business.
We're gonna do it the long way. Then go ahead.
No, we're going to do it the easy way.
Oh, okay.
Your business produced in sales every month $60,000.
Yes.
Okay. Out of that $60,000, whether it was 60,000, how much did you have to pay your men?
I don't remember. I mean, I have no clue.
Well, you got some kind of clue because you made 60,000. How much of that 60,000 did you get to keep?
Well, I mean, if you want to do it, what I got to keep.
At the end of the month.
I was still making my, 8,000 or 6,000, whatever, 8,000 a month. I was still.
This is not, I'm not talking about what you're personally taking home.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. I can't say because I don't know. I don't know what those numbers were. I don't know. That was 3-4 years ago, whatever it was, and I don't remember. I could guess, but I mean.
Well, that's all I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
You see, America, like this is not how you run a business.
No, it's not. But you're asking me questions I can't answer because I don't know. I don't have the figures, my books in front of me.
You don't need to have your books in front of you.
Sure I do. I can't give you a number without knowing. I can't just.
I want to show you something, America. This is why businesses go out of business. We're not putting you down, Michael.
Sure you are.
Well, not on purpose. Not on purpose, we're not. But I can tell you this, that any business owner would know what they made. And I'm just trying to use this as an example of why businesses fail and that some do really well. And I can tell you this, when you are not in charge of your finances, then things like this happen where, and most of this was all cash, but this guy had $40,000 on a credit line, $28,000 in credit. And every month, this is how I would have done it. I would have taken my $68,000 in my credit line, and then I would have dropped that $60,000. Okay? And let's say your expenses out of that $60,000, hold on a second, is, let's say $42,000 or $52,000. Okay? Okay. So that's going to bring that 68,000 down to what? 0,006. Right? $16,000. That's your balance. So this is what you're going to borrow. Okay? And this is what you're going to pay, your deposit. And this is the way this works. $60,000 right here, which is going to bring that credit line back up to $76,000. Okay, so that's your balance. And I'm going to show you how to do this again down the road, America, and for Michael and Elaine here. This is what you're borrowing, and then this is what's your new balance month number 1.
Yeah, I understand that. I was doing that, up to.
Then you're going to borrow the $52,000 again in your bills, which is going to bring this back down 0,004. to $24,000. Okay. So here you had $16,000, and in 1 month you add an extra $8,000 in cash flow to those credit lines. And every month you do this, you bring extra money into your credit line, and then you live on your credit line. So you're going to borrow, that's $24,000. Okay. Then you're going to deposit, you're going to pay $60,000, which brings that up to $84,000, right?
Okay.
And then you're going to borrow 52,000 of it again. And there you are right there. That's just in 3 months. You went from 18,000 in credit line. You went from $18,000 that you had left on your credit line to $32,000
Right.
in 3 months. In 3 months.
Right.
So for even if you would have run out of money, even if you'd have run out of money on your business, which a lot of folks did during COVID, did you apply for any of that money?
No.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see if I can get yeah. You see how that works right here?
Yeah, no, I get it. I had the same deal, but at the time I was doing almost the same thing. But the problem was, we took on extra work at the time, so there was an extra. I doubled up on my existing work, so I had borrowed money to make that. That's why I got the credit line, was to make that happen. I had enough money up to that point.
Because you were living on cash.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And in America, just so you know, this is what happens when you live off of cash. You will always get yourself in a bind unless you're rich. And you guys who are watching now, you crypto guys, do this to yourself every single time. The reason I know you do it is because I did that. And I, at one time, had a couple of $100,000 in credit, but in the beginning. Then I went crypto and literally cut up my credit cards. Elaine, I did the same thing. I didn't know money on them. I didn't know any money on them, but I cut them all up and said, no, screw this, screw the man, screw the banks. I don't need credit. But the more you'd have done this right here, if you'd have continued to follow a strategy like this, which is what we teach, after a year in business making $600,000, $720,000, just 1 year in business, your credit lines should have been $700,000.
Right. No, I agree with you. I understand that basics. But like I said, what happened was like everything fell right at the last minute. Everything just stopped. So I had to make those payments, and I had the credit line right at that point. And then it went 18 months basically with no commercial work.
Okay, hold on a second. So your month, but even if you had no work, you had no employees to pay because they weren't working.
Right. Basically, yes. So
just your own living, when you do a strategy like this, America, the banks are going to extend your credit lines out, not loans, lines of credit, into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I've known plenty of people who have, when they got themselves 2 years, no business. I think one guy had 3 years, no business. He had enough money in his credit lines where he borrowed the money from his credit lines and paid his bills every month. Until, and if you'd have used this strategy here, Elaine and Michael, then you would have kept yourself out of trouble. Right. And you'd still have all your credit cards.
Right. I took almost the same approach myself too. It was just, I just I stopped doing everything, and because I was disappointed, disillusioned, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and decided, throw everything away, just walk away from it.
Yep. Totally understand. Totally understand. Because we get frustrated and we get stressed. And the next thing we know, we're like, screw the man. I'm not paying the government anymore. Why would I pay them taxes on money that I don't get to keep anymore? They keep charging me. COVID hit. I can't work. I totally got it. Totally got it. Okay. So
what I should have did was extended out the time on the existing and actually borrow more to or increase my line to live for the next year is what I should have did, and I didn't do that. I lived on what money was coming in, a little bit.
yeah. Cash, America, just so you know, cash is trash. There's no way you can survive on it.
Not in the business, anyway.
Not anyway. You can't live, you'll never get ahead in life, personally or in business, if you use cash. It totally will destroy your entire life. And you got people out there like Dave Ramsey and his crew and other people who talk about cash and not having credit, when our whole system, you see over my shoulder here, our whole system, this whole system right here is set up. Our whole United States system is set up on credit. And if you don't have credit, and if you're not using that credit to live and pay your bills and rotate it, then you're not even living in the system.
Right. No, I know, I agree with you. That's like I said, that's brings me up to the next couple of years, which I was just doing basic small things to keep busy,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So are y'all basically waiting till mom and daddy give you the house?
No, I'm not. I don't want it. I don't even want it, to be honest. I don't want nothing. She's got brothers, so that's going to be between them. I don't care. I'm not worried.
You're doing your own thing to provide for you and Elaine. Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get it. Okay. Well, you and I will talk a little bit more tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Y'all finish that deal and then sign that POA so we can help you. You guys are going to be totally fine. Your credit, you screwed yourself on the credit, Elaine. How much are you paying those guys a month?
$200. I put in a little extra.
You're only paying them $200?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
It's almost done. You say stop paying, I'll stop paying.
Wow. You do what you're going to do. You do what you want to do. You want to keep paying them, keep paying them. Well, they 100% took advantage of you. They're making like 90% of the money you give them. It's okay. They made a deal with the credit card companies, and at like 10 cents on the dollar, or sometimes pennies. Sometimes 2 or 3%. We'll go collect 2 or 3%, and the credit cards go, okay, because the credit cards are getting paid back by insurance, by the feds. They're not losing any money. Not one penny. They don't lose money. They got it all set up so they don't lose. We won't get into the weeds on that, America. We're not going to get into the weeds on how these financial institutions don't lose money. But they're not losing money. The money they make on the spread is unbelievably huge. So just like with these guys here, the credit, what was your interest rate on those cards? About 26%, let's say. That's the average. Okay. Okay, 19, even at 19%, you paying 19% on the credit cards Hold on a second. And you had what, $22,000 in credit, give or take?
Yes.
That's $4,000 a year. And how many years did it take you to pay off?
Those are the ones I like surrendered and got them written off. I did one of those 800 numbers to help you with credit.
Okay. But you're still paying the third party.
Right. The ones that find me.
Whew. Wow. This is depressing.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. Don't be. It's you can this second time around, and you guys make enough money where you can straighten this out, but you're not going to be able to live forever on credit unless you just want to live on Social Security because you're almost there.
No.
You know, I mean, y'all both could live on Social Security and live on the 2,200 you make. You know, you might make $4,000 or $6,000 a month. That's what you're living on now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll touch base tomorrow, and we'll carry this a little further. Sign that POA so that we can help you. And if you don't have a printer, just email it. Follow the direction that my assistant Faith sent you. Okay.
Okay, we got the printer, we did all that. I got to download shit. So.
Gotcha. Do you have any questions for me, Elaine?
No.
Michael?
No,
I had fun with you. Thank you for spending the time with us.
Thank you very much.
we did too. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Wow, America. That's all I had to say. That was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. And thank you, Michael and Elaine, for participating with us. That was heartbreaking what we do to ourselves when we don't know how to take charge of our own economy. And let me tell you something, America, it's out there for all of us to do when I'm talking about taking charge of your own economy. And so when you learn how to take back your rights from the banks and start doing the same functions that the banks do with your money. And by the way, you put this right here, $700,000. They loaned out $720,000 a year. Or no, 600. Yeah, $720,000 a year. This guy Michael paid or got paid that he was running through his bank, and that $700,000 they were taking that and loaning it out. 7 million of that, of his money, they were loaning out to somebody else at what interest rates? You know, let's just say they were loaning it out at 8%. I mean, just do the math on that stuff. It's crazy. And they were giving him nothing for it. So they were making all the interest on his money. They were loaning it out. So imagine this when you become your own banker. Imagine you putting money into your account, you making an X amount of guaranteed interest a year, like 6%, 5.5 to 6. Actually, it goes up to 8, but the guaranteed usually about 6% a year, guaranteed, compounded year after year after year after year. And you're able to borrow back 90% of that with that compounded interest uninterrupted. So whether you have, let's say your account has 100,000 in it and you borrow 90,000 of it, whether you pay that back or not, you're still making that 6% interest on it. So as you start to pay that back, okay, they usually loan the money to you at less, because you can always work it out where they're paying it back. You're paying it back at the interest that they're charging you for borrowing the money is less than the compounding interest that they're paying you. That's called a spread. Then you get to borrow it tax-free. And you're getting compounded interest on top of each other. I did a whole plan on that just today, where with a couple where if you would have put $10,000 in for the next 40 years, that's it, just 10,000 of their income for the next 40 years, drop $3,000 a month in there, and they're going to have about $2.5 million. And that's not a plan for them to get wealthy. That's just their banking, them taking back the rights of their banking, putting their own money in instead of loaning it out to somebody else. They borrow it. They borrow their own money, not to live on, but for major purchases like buying a house or houses or buying cars when they need it or sending their kids to college and stuff like that. That's what that is. Like the same thing that the banks are doing with your money, you're allowed to do with your own money. All you're doing is taking back the banking functions that you give away to the banks when you use the banks. So you guys, especially Bruce Porter, thank you again, Michael and Elaine. Great sports. I ticked him off a little bit there. Michael was getting a little upset. And I told him earlier today, if you get upset with me, if you get upset with the process, you're really upset with you. You're not really mad at me. I'm just the guy that you have to get mad at because I'm the one in front of you. Okay. And great people, man, the salt of the earth, these kind of folks, small business owners, but we never get taught how to strategize. If you're buying from the malls, you're totally screwing yourself. I got to see if I'm on TV. Hold on a second. Come on. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm live on TV. I can't cuss because I'm live on TV and the FCC doesn't like it. But as soon as we go to commercial, I'm going to cut a few. I'm going to let a few fly, a few F's fly. Okay. Pun intended. Anyway, when we learn how to take back the functions of the bank where we put our money in and borrow it back, this is just total insanity right here. What my total insanity. Credit lines. $40,000. And you can do this, by the way, there's 5 layers that the financial institutions have categorized America over the last decade and a half. Number 1 is the billionaires. Number 2, the centimillionaires. Number 3, the 1%ers. The billionaires, then the centimillionaires. These are guys who make, and gals, make 100 million up to a billionaire. Then you have the 1%ers. These guys make 440,000 all the way up to 100 million. That is a really big class. At least that the spread is. Then you have the underdeveloped. And this is the group that I talk to the most because these guys make, look, see how fat I am? Holy cow. That ain't good. The underdeveloped, these guys make 39,000 to 150,000 a year. This is called the underdeveloped group. Underdeveloped. Okay. This group right here, and if Michael and Elaine, if you guys are still watching, this group right here, there's 64 million Americans that have 101,000 to 750,000 in what's called disposable income. It's the biggest block of money, $24 trillion in America. 24 trillion. the salt of the earth kind of people like Michael and Elaine, the difference is these folks learned what to do with their money right here. And the majority of them didn't become their own bankers, but they learned how to borrow money from themselves for major purchases, typically out of 401ks, or they use their lines of credit. And the 64 million, there's 95 million in this class right here. 95 million in this class right here, but 64 million is this right here, where they have a lot of money, $100,000 to $750,000. These are folks here who learned how to use their credit cards. They learned how to use their lines of credit. They learned how to use their HELOCs. So if you have a house, you 100% should be your own banker. 100%. If you have credit cards, you 100% should be your own banker, but that's just the beginning of it. Once you learn how to use your credit, then you can move it over to the infinite banking strategies where you become, you're really your own banker. So the same functions that happens at the banks when you put your money into the banks that they use on you, and I'm talking about taking your money, the principal, your cash that you put in the banks, whether it's in your checking account, savings, an IRA, mutual fund with them, maybe it's a money market, whatever it is, lines of credit and stuff like that. Well, lines of credit, let's leave that part alone. But whatever cash that you put in the banks, they're taking it and loaning it out. And you get nothing on the principal and you get nothing on the interest. Now they may give you, and I'll give you a straight up example. We put in $200,000 in a money market because we needed to park it for about 30, 60 days. But anyway, they said, congratulations, Mr. Mackey. You're going to get paid 1% on this. 1%. For the year. When you become your own banker and you're using the infinite banking strategies, typically those pay about 6% a year, guaranteed, straight across the board. You're going to get there, and it compounds every year. I did a whole show on that last night for about an hour, showing you how that compounds and all that extra money that you'll make if you put your money in there. It's incredible. But it's not about getting rich. It's not even about making money. It's just about doing the same basic banking functions that the bank uses with your money when you put it in there. It's insane. Let's take a little bit of a look at crypto. Hold on one second, guys. Let's take a look at Bitcoin right now, trading at $59,373. But here's, wow, holy cow, watch out. Look at this right here. It's down 58.9% in trading volume for the day. Bitcoin only traded $12 billion or $12.5 billion for the day. That's some very low trading volume. This has a $1,174 billion market cap. That is a very low amount for it to be trading. Typically, even when it's going sideways and accumulating, is usually doing about 25, 30 billion dollars, $30 billion a day on average for $12 billion. Watch out, America. Holy cow. Let's see what's happening with this. Let's go to my other chart. You guys know I've been charting here, and this is a basic chart here. Wow. And you guys know I've been talking about this, so let's start with the basic. This is a very basic chart. There's nothing really extravagant or professional about this. So what I try to do, America, you guys watching, what I do is I take basic so that a 5-year-old can see where I'm taking you. Okay. You guys who need somebody to see this, make sure you tag your friends and say, hey, get on and let's watch this right now. Fly Mackey's talking about Bitcoin and where he may or may not think it's going to. Okay. And once again, I'm not a financial analyst or anything like that, but anybody can do this. And I highly recommend you do this for yourself. Isn't that right, Donald J. Trump? Yeah. And Elon Musk. Yeah. Elon wants to start a government spending account. Not an accountability where they go, oh, you're doing this and that, show all the bad that they're doing or whatever. He's talking actually an oversight where they tell people, this is where it's at, like stop spending it, make them blah, blah, blah. Let's get them I'll tell you how to clear the deficit out in 3 minutes. The first time they go over 3% GDP in spending, then you make it to where they can't get reelected. They'll straighten it up that fast. But once again, most of the congressmen, I would say, and I don't care, they can come after me and sue me all they want. I ain't got no money. Seriously. We're not stupid. We use these strategies here. We use these strategies. So, they can come after our little bit amount of money like Elon Musk did. What a smart guy that guy is, man. If I just had this much, his fingernail smarts, man, that'd be so cool. Anyway, most of these congressmen and congresswomen, most of the senators, they're all perverts. They're all just strange individuals. And I don't care if you don't like that. It's just the way they is. You can't be mad at them. I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. It is what it is. And I don't think just because you call somebody a pervert means you're mad at them or you don't like them. It is what it is. They just are. And that's who we elect. We elect the strangest people, who go up and tell us glorious things they're going to do for us. And we elect politicians by personality. But none of these guys ever know what they're doing. They can't balance a checkbook. None of them. Anyway, if you want to learn, really, let's go back over here to this. I want to get to this right here. So here is the chart for Bitcoin over the period of the last, X amount of years. I can't get this thing to go any smaller than that. I'm trying to get it to scrunch down a little bit. But you see the angle that it's traveling, and has been traveling in this channel going down here. You can see this pretty good here. See that right here? And I told you it's going to take about another day yesterday. It's moving sideways. Watch out. This thing is fixing to pop, and see it accumulating? Look at this. This is called accumulation here, where they're buying and buying and buying and selling a little bit and buying a little bit and selling a little bit and buying a little bit, but nobody's really doing anything. See how these candles are really short and it's moving sideways? Watch out. This puppy is fixing to pop. This is fixing to pop. This is a daily chart. it's either going to pop up here and we're going to go to all new highs. See that? It's either going to pop up and go this direction here, but we got about one more day for it to make up its mind of which way it's going to head. And probably, and then it could still stay in this lane where it's heading down. See this? It could still stay in this lane, but once again, it's accumulating. I mean, it could pop down here into the 40s. That could be what's happening into the low 50,000 range. It could be heading there. I mean, it looks like it's heading there. I'm not going to give anything fancy on these charts because there's plenty of people that can do that for you, okay? But you see the lane that it's traveling in right here, and it's been traveling here for a while. Ooh. I got this charted all the way down into zero right down here. You could take this up to the $30,000 range right there. If you wanted to take this up down to $30,000, you can see how that is traveling into this lane. Do you see this? See that, America? We're going to go into our second hour here shortly. Hold on. For those of you in the great state of Texas and Louisiana, y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be out in California, Oklahoma. By the way, we're going to be with the Roccos, I think, in the next couple of days. They train roping horses, and I'll be out there. We're going to do a little filming. I'll be on some horses. You'll see this Fado Indian out there. But anyway, we're going to have some fun riding, hopefully. And then we're going to be heading back to Arizona and then probably over to California. We're going to try to buy some TV channels, some TV stations. So hang tight with us. And you guys who here are watching us here, please support Bruce Porter. You guys are great following. There's 154,000 of you following Bruce on his channel. But once again, thank you, Bruce, for letting us broadcast here. He's a big star on our TV network, Monday through Friday on Money Impact, and really has a great audience, too, here in the great state of Texas and Louisiana, soon to be Tallahassee, Florida, and 103 other stations. So hang tight that we're going to get there, okay? That's going to be a glorious day for us to hit that, then, because we're going to be in front of 37 million more Americans per day, which would be really cool. With bam, going up in the world, right? So anyway, once again, all leveraged on credit. All leveraged on credit. I had a guy today saying, I really want to cut you off, and I really want to do that. And I'm like, why? Why? We're giving you revenue. We're getting plenty of revenue. Like, you haven't bought into our game plan. Like, you don't believe our game plan. That's why you want to cut us off, because he's a cash business. Makes $1 million a year, and he's broke. Not broke because, he brings in like $100,000 a month, but he's not able to leverage any of that for himself. Like, he's not paying himself, and he's always stressed because he's got a great business. But once again, he's kind of like Michael, where he had a great business, but he didn't learn how to take all his credit and leverage it so he could build himself for a rainy day, because those days are coming. Anyway, those are great people, weren't they? Really salt of the earth. Thank you, Michael and Elaine, for getting on with us once again. It was a real pleasure talking to folks like that. But once again, if you look at let's take a break. See you, America. See ya. We'll see you. Fly Mackie. And there we go. We're off the air We're off the air in Texas. Them son of a bitches, not Texas. I'm talking about you can't cuss. You cannot cuss. We're going to take a few minute break. I'm going to put up this. Bam. Look at that. Just take a look at this for a second. Bitcoin trading at $59,479. It may try to make its way out. It may try to make its way out of here, but this is the trend and this is where it's heading. It's in that channel going down. Now, if the buyers have their way, they're going to take this sucker. Hold on a second. If the buyers have their way, they're heading straight up here. This is where they're wanting to go. I'm not complaining. It just looks a little weird. I mean, I like that big QR code on my face. I actually love it. I love it. But please don't do this for Bruce Porter's show on Monday, okay? He asked today, what in the world is that? I'm gonna take a break. Y'all look at this chart here for a minute. Look at this. Woo, woo, woo. All right, 59,516. See, it is trying to make its way out of here. It is trying to make its way out. It is trying to make its way out of there. It's working on it. It's trying to make its way. It is working at making its way up here. It's going to be glorious if it does it. This is actually well, I'm just going to leave this. I'm not going to touch the lines. This is the lane that it's traveling in. It's not really specific here. I mean, I could make it a little bit better, but I'm just going to leave it so you can see where it's traveling, okay? I mean, there's a whole nother lane going up. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Those of you in Twitter land, and on LinkedIn, don't go away. Stay with us. I'm going to be right back, and then we'll do our analysis on Bitcoin, okay? And some other coins. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll talk a little bit about some politics, but stay with me. We'll see in just a little bit. No, we're not leaving it. It's wanting me to leave the site. I'm like, no, we're not leaving. We're staying on. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. It just came in like what, 10, 15 minutes ago, maybe? Okay, what are you trying to do? Mm-hmm. Do you have credit? Do you have credit now? Okay. All right. And you have your own business? Okay. All right. So what's a good time for me to call you tomorrow? Around 1 in the afternoon. Are you in Texas? Where are you at, Maria? In Dallas? All right. I don't like Dallas. I like Lubbock a lot better. No, I like Lubbock. I grew up in Lubbock. Well, duh. I know. That's why I liked it. No, and I liked it that way. Slow, boring, don't get in trouble, you know. That's that's how I liked it. No, Dallas is a great place to live. I mean, yeah, it is it's a happening city. Yeah. Are you a Yeah, you have to protect yourself, Maria. You had to protect yourself. Don't be afraid to protect yourself. Anyway, so I'll call you tomorrow, and as soon as we hang up, I'm going to send you a message, and then we can talk. We can talk. Then you'll know who you can put me in your contacts, and then I'll call you tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, Texas time. Okay. Thank you. And if you want to watch our show, I'll send you the link. You can watch it if you want to stay awake a little longer. Have a great night. All right, goodbye. You too. Goodbye. That was awesome. So it's 12:11 a.m. in the morning, and we just had some leads come in, some people, and I called them right away. They're like, yes, I'm awake. I love that. Money don't sleep, and it sure ain't waiting for you, whoever you are. It ain't waiting for me. And tomorrow's coming, next week's coming, next month's coming, next year is coming, with or without us. So as soon as you learn how to take control of your own economy, then sky's the limit after that. Seriously. And anybody can do it. Anybody. That's just insane. That was a really good talk with Michael and his wife Elaine today. Really good talk. Really good people. I mean, just the average American couple, and what happens is we just literally, so they were doing a lot of things the right way. They were living on credit and stuff like that, but they didn't set themselves up for when the crash came, which is this is why you want to be in charge of your own money, your own banking functions, so that when the crashes happen, that you borrow from yourself. Just like the banks. That's what the banks do. They borrow from themselves off the spread. They're always making a spread. And then they borrow from themselves at less than what they're making, which is what happens when you take control back of your own finances. It's incredible. But anyway, they're going to make it. All right. I was just talking to Maria, who sent us a message just a few minutes ago. I called her. It's midnight. And I can't tell you how many people I've called at midnight, and they go, "Are you stupid? It's midnight. It's 1 a.m. It's 2." And I said, "Yep." And you're up trying to figure out how to make ends meet. That's why you were sending information when you found our website or our TV channels. That's why you reached out to us, because great a business person as you are, you're still trying to make it work for yourself, and you're having trouble just like anybody else who does not have credit or doesn't know how to be their own. Nothing wrong with that. Once you learn how to do those things, then you can take back the same functions, once again, that we give away to the banks. We give away these rights to the bank of our principal to do what they want with it. Trust me, do you think that if you put 10,000, 50,000, if you put $100, $1,000, $10,000, or $100,000 in anybody who makes more than that, they're not putting their cash into a bank account. Okay. I'm sorry. They just don't do that. You learn how to do it. Otherwise you can't keep your money. Okay. And once again, I've known people who've done it. I've done it. So once again, when you put your cash, whatever it is, into your bank account, it doesn't stay in a bank account. Matter of fact, when you get a check from your employer, there's no real dollars that are trading hands. It's all codes. You can see here what's happening. And this thing is moving sideways. Let's take a look at Matt Dixon's site here. Let's take a look at Matt's site here. I want to show you something here. See if I can get that in focus here. This is a good view right here too. This is a good view of what's going on with Bitcoin right now. Ooh, look at that. This is amazing. Ooh, wow. Take a look at this. Just take a look at this right now. Let me make this a little big. See this right here? Look at this. Wow. So you can see what's happening here. Look at it. It is a clear picture since March of this year, how it's been going down. And I just did a whole chart for you on this. See this right here? Look at this. I did a whole chart for you. Look how that is heading down. Look at this. You see it's accumulating here. I like his chart here. This is, by the way, on a this is a daily chart right here. But you see here where it is trying to make its way out of here. It is trying to make its way out. And it looks like it's going to lose out here for the day, and that the sellers are going to have their way. See, it's tried to make its way up out of that lane that I was showing you that it was in over the last month almost. Let's take a look at some of the coins, okay? So Bitcoin right now trading at $59,560,638. It's still in not a buy or sell position. But here's the story of the day. Trading 58,000, or excuse me, down 58.9% for the day in trading volume. Trading at $12 billion. Wow. Ethereum trading $2,608. $5 billion in trading for the day. It's down 55% in trading. So this is normally about 10 billion. Well, yesterday it was $10 billion. Today it's down 55%, trading at 5 billion. So this tells a huge story of what's going on. This is where the accumulation's coming in. So a little less buying, a little less selling. It's just kind of sitting there. Not a lot of movement. 5 billion is, not a lot of movement compared to what it normally does. Ripple trading at 56 cents, down 60% in trading volume for the day, trading $422 million. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin is in the buy. They have that in the buying position. It's a AA rating, but they have it A or 1 rated into buy. This is a purchase position, $327 million it had traded for the day. It's down 32%, but they're saying buy. Let's see what happens with that. Here's the Cardano ADA, been around for a long time, trading at 33 cents. It is down 48% in trading volume for the day, $164 million it traded in the last 24 hours. The Shiba Inu, wow, this guy, buyers, beware. I'm not giving any advice, but this thing is really accumulating. It's at 0.0000133. It's down 43% trading for the day, only $96 million. That is a red. Please pay attention to this. This thing could be going to the moon, or it could be crashing. So once again, we'll get back and look at that in just a second. Still has a $7.8 billion market cap, but the trading volume is so low on that. This thing typically trades $800 million a day. This thing is trading 96. This is down 90% in trading total. Well, it's down 43% for the day from yesterday, but still, this thing is typically trading $800 million a day. Now, Bitcoin Cash trading at $341.24. And here's the story of the day. Once again, it's down 46% in daily trading volume for the day, trading at 132 million, has a 6.7 market cap. This coin isn't going anywhere, but once again, this thing has bred. There's been a lot of life bred into Bitcoin Cash. It is a coin to look at. It is not going anywhere by any stretch of the imagination. These guys are here to stay. Triple B rating on here. Here's Stellar trading at 9 cents, down 47% in trading volume for the day, traded $30 million. Still has a $2 billion or $2.8 billion market cap. It is still holding pretty strong in there. But once again, that is really low trading volume for Stellar. XLM. Of course, Monero, these guys ain't going away. People are trying to take this business away. XMR trading at $150.13. It's in the sell position. Let's take a look at the dashboard on these guys. I just got a little curiosity here. Ooh, this is brutal. Brutal. You see here, and I'm only going to go back a couple of years. Look at that. Look at that. And this is just a simple chart, guys and gals. There's nothing extravagant about this. But you see here where it went from the highs over here of around $338, give or take, $338.70, all the way down. It lost 70% of its volume, or 60+% of it. I'd say about 70% it's lost. Ooh, this is brutal. Brutal. Wow. You could just take this up one more time. Woo! Brutal, my friends. Brutal. And it has not recovered. You see here where it went from $514.93, give or take, to where it's at right now at $118.70. That's why it's at Monero XMR. It's at a triple B rating, but it doesn't have a buy or sell on here. It's just in a kind of like in a limbo there. Wow. Oof. Is that brutal or what? You never want to see your money go like this. But it didn't just drop immediately. I mean, it's had a lot of trading in here, and it's been trading sideways here for the last couple of years. Since June of 22, it's been trading sideways. So there's plenty of chances to get in here for people to make money. Okay. It's not like you can't make money on this stuff. It's just that, it's brutal when it goes up that high, and then now it's lost, 70, 80% of its value. Wow. Ooh, that's painful. Let's see if we can find BSV. I think they were trading in the high 90s. Let's take a look at that, see if I can find them here. Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. And this is the coin that was used by Vanguard and BlackRock when they were when they were doing their applications for ETFs. Okay. BlackRock and Vanguard uses BSV as their Bitcoin of choice. Did you hear me? The largest company in the world. Hold on, we're going to get back to this real quick. It's at a double B rating. It was sold yesterday. It's in a limbo rating right now. Let's look at the dashboard on here. It's going to look the same probably as the other Bitcoin, but let's take a look. You guys going to chart this thing? It doesn't want to pull up the chart. All right, fine. It'd be great if you did. It doesn't want to pull up the chart, but it's trading at $42.79. Now take a look at this. The trading volume in the last 24 hours is down 22%. It's not that big a deal, but it only traded 11,853,000. When it trades this low, you don't know whether you're going to get your money if you put in large purchases. You don't know if you're going to be able to sell it, but this coin is so solid. It has a strong business behind it. In this industry, it's called utility. It has a strong utility behind it, but who knows what's going to happen with this coin. But I can tell you this, it ain't going nowhere. And let me put my big face back out there. I can tell you now, guys and gals, BSV may not be the magical coin that everyone's looking at. I mean, you may look at that and go, no trading volume, but it is making moves in Africa, South America, Central America, and different some Asian parts of the world, like Indonesia and some places like that, I believe it is. They're making some moves over there. I'm telling you now, this coin is something to look at. BlackRock, the largest company in the world, and let's just put this into perspective. BlackRock One, two, three. I think I spelled that right. BlackRock and Vanguard. BlackRock owns, this is the world. Okay. This is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I don't want to misrepresent this, that Vanguard owns 1/3 of it. BlackRock owns 1/3 of the entire world. And this is the businesses. And they own 1/3. BlackRock owns 1/3 of the businesses of the world, and 20 and currency. This is why those of you out there who in the crypto world, that's why those of you out in the crypto world, do not lose heart, because it's going that way. And those of you who hate the banks and who hate credit, I'm just asking you to think about the opportunity to be your own banker and borrow your own money and scale in your crypto world from you. Did that sound funny? It sounded funny to me. Anyway, I get a little excited. BlackRock named BSV as their Bitcoin of record. This ain't fantasy. Go look it up yourself. They didn't say that they're going to back Bitcoin. They did not say that. Or excuse me, BSV. Because they did a Bitcoin ETF when the 11 companies, or 12, I think it was 11, got approved to do the ETFs. BlackRock named, when they were all naming, because it was for Bitcoin, everyone put in BTC, Bitcoin. They wrote in BSV. Then they made a statement saying, we did not say, we have not made a decision on which Bitcoin we're going to back. But that's the one they put in their application. So what do you think that means, guys and gals? And Bitcoin BSV is trading at $42 right now. The other Bitcoin is trading at 59,000 and change. I'm just generalizing. Where do you think, you want to know why the rich get so stinking freaking rich? Because they're not buying at 59,000. Now the institutions, there's certain things like they're buying into the hundreds of millions, billions. When they shift a little bit of these $1 trillion portfolios out there, okay, they're moving things in the $1 billion category price range, not a few 100,000. Okay, they're trading things in $1 billion ranges or $1 trillion ranges. There's so much money out there that we don't know how much money there is out there. That's the point of it. Okay, but they said BSV. So if BSV turns out to be the Bitcoin of choice, then there's going to be a lot of crying going on. Go Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump, Elon Musk. Those guys are beasts. Beasts, I tell you. Beast, I tell you. Look at that big fat Indian head. That's a big old fat Indian head. I got some Mexican in me too. And Jewish by adoption. I know Bruce says they don't care, but Jews don't care about you that you were adopted. I'm like, Bruce, you're hurting my feelings. What about the Irish Catholics? You think they care? I got some black folk in us too. I got a grandson. He's half black. Got some Asian in our family. We got a lot of white people in our family. I love it. I got a big old head. Look at my head. Anyway, so just want to kind of give you guys some ideas here of when. Oh, I missed one. The currency. So businesses, they own 1/3. Currency, 25%. In any given day, of all the currency that trades hands per day on any given day, come on, man. They don't want to show the chart. All right, fine. No problema. I don't think it's smart when you don't want to show the chart. Anyway, you see what's happening here. You see what's happening here. And that's kind of where that's going, just like that. You really want to take the high, not the red on here. You really want that to look more like that right there. So it's trying to make its way out of here. See that? It's trying to make its way out. If it makes its way out for a day or two, then we're going to see a different trend. But right now, this is where we're heading. This you can see it clear as day. You can see it clear as day that it's trending down, and it's been trending down for quite some time. See that? It's been trending down for quite some time now. See that? And it's really trending down right now. But also, too, you saw how it did it here, and you saw how it did it here, right here. See that? It's more dramatic here than it is here, even though it tried to right here. You see this right here? It tried to dump, and it did. It dumped, but then it made its way back up into the $60,000 range, and then it's been traveling about the 59,000 for the last week. So let's see what happens. I mean, who knows? Who knows what may happen here? But something that you do want to pay attention to, in our opinion over here, is where the Porter brothers are going. You want to help them along the way. You guys that can, if you're not subscribed and you're watching the show, subscribe to Bruce's channel here and hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment or something like that. A follow. Definitely follow him and help him get to New York, to the the UN blockchain event that's coming up on the 26th of September. Help him out here, okay? You loyal. There's 158,000 of you. If all 158,000 of you just sent him $1, he would make his budget to get up there. It costs a lot of money to make these trips. We spend, I'm not even going to tell you, but it's a lot when it comes to broadcasting. I mean, it's, TV. It's TV. But anyway, help Bruce get there. He's going anyway. We're sending him anyway. But help him and support him. You know how to reach him. Reach him directly. Send him a direct message or send him something and say, hey, I want to support you. Where can I send my $1 or my $5 or my 100 or my 1,000 or my $10,000 or my 100 grand? Where can I send it? Go Donald Trump. I think you can pretty much say I'm a Donald Trump Bible thumping NRA kind of guy. That's kind of who I am. I got lots of trouble. I got lots of problems, man. Oof. I got problems. We have 38 shares. 38 shares. We got 1,605 people watching live. You guys like the video, hit the like button. Follow Bruce. If you're not following Bruce, hit the follow button and follow him. Those of you who are watching me on at Smart Money, you could go over there if you want to, but we really want you to follow Bruce, okay? And you see this over here, the smartmoneyculture.tv. When you go there, it's going to bring up a couple of things right here. I love this. I told him, even if you put the QR code in front of everybody's face. Now, don't do this for Bruce, okay? For his show on Monday. I said, even if you put the QR code, I love that. Hey, Ricky, Faith, I love it. I don't know why you don't take this little one out of there, but smartmoneyculture.tv/credit. You got the double deal down there, but they could hit that QR code for sure. You can hit the credit button or the contact. And we've had a few of you hitting the contact button. That's okay. You contact us. I had a lady, Maria, she's probably asleep by now, said, I want to get in the gig. I want to get in the gig. I love that. I called her at midnight and she answered the phone. I love that. You know what? Let me tell you something. Look at me. Look at me. Let me tell you this. When you send a message to somebody at midnight, 1 a.m, and they call you back, two things that says: that you guys don't quit. You're risk takers, that you're willing to go that extra step, man. Don't quit. Don't quit. It's okay to fail. That just means you're going to need another way to look at it to make it run successfully the next time. You can fail. I've failed 1,000 times if you really want to say so, but we never quit. You get it? We don't quit. So if you don't quit, you don't lose. You only lose when you quit. Just don't quit. It's okay to fail. It's okay to lose your $1 million. It's okay to lose the house. It's okay to lose your vehicles. You may be eating a lot of ramen noodles. Okay? It's okay. Just don't quit, because you know you're going to come back. One of my biggest mistakes that I made in business was I got rid of my very first TV channel. I should have kept it. Going on 8 years now. I had the first Bitcoin television network or channel in all of America. People was watching me like crazy. It was anyway. Thank you, 1,611 viewers that are watching us right now. If you're on the East Coast, it is 1:45 a.m. in the morning. By the way, just so you know, from 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning, or actually from 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning, is the most watched TV time in all of America. And shows that are being watched on the internet, like TV shows like what we're doing, not podcasts, but shows. I should say podcast. Anything that's live, let me correct myself. Anything that's live between 3 and 5 p.m., the most watch time for television shows, whether it's podcast live TV on the internet or TV on the internet, whatever it is, or TV in broadcast home, 3 to 5 a.m., the most watch time in America. Okay. And we're about a quarter to two on the East Coast. It's a quarter to 1 here, Central Standard Time. And Hayashia in Alabama. And then, of course, Arizona, Hi Faith. I think she's in California now. And you Californians out there, Brian. So anyway, hang in there with us. Let's do a little bit more crypto here. I just want to look at the charts. And see what's happening here. I mean, there's a little bit of movement going on. This is in real time. This is in real time. You can see the numbers over here. Trading at $59,549. It says here, 2 hours ago, Bitcoin miners may gain 13.9 billion yearly from a 20% shift in AI. Ooh. Okay, don't know what that means. Don't even want to get there. Is the Bitcoin price in grave danger? Is what some people are asking. Bitcoin whales hodl, 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 or hodl, as new signals suggest, bull cycle is not over. No, I don't think the bull cycle is over. Bitcoin miners could unlock 38 billion in revenue with AI. I totally agree with that, but I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about here. I don't want to get into that story. Bitcoin market facing a persistent net sell side bias. Well, of course. Franklin Templeton's new ETF filing targets Bitcoin, Ethereum exposure. All right. BTC price analysis. 2 critical levels to watch for Bitcoin. Well, duh. There's lots of things to look at there. There is a Bitcoin wallet called Skyrockets. 11,000%. I'm kind of curious about this story. Dormant Bitcoin wallet skyrockets 11,754% after years of inactivity. On-chain data has revealed an interesting development for Bitcoin. Whale tracking service Whale Alert has tweeted that a dormant BTC wallet has been reactivated after, holy cow, I'm glad I clicked on this. After 10.3 years of inactivity, this is crucial development as it reveals insight aspects about the market. The address in question contains 18 BTC, which were acquired almost a decade ago. It was worth around $9,204 in 2014, as the wallet has been reactivated. The 18 BTC are estimated to be valued at 1.09, just a little over $1 million based in the current BTC price. A dormant address containing 18 BTC, 1,091,000, had just been activated after 10 years. It should be noted that dormant wallets like this one belong to early adoptions of Bitcoin, the leading crypto in the industry. Well, duh, these individuals are important. Duh, price per Bitcoin action. As of writing this story, BTC is trading. Well, here's the good news. This guy right here, since he bought the Bitcoin, it went up 11,000%. Ooh, wow. All right, folks, look at this. This is why, and I talked to somebody this week that had bought a coin that went up 11,000%. But this happens all the time. There's more millionaires and billionaires made in the crypto world in the last 10 years than in the history of our country. U.S. Treasury said that. They're the ones who put those kind of statements out that all these billionaires are being made, millionaires and billionaires. Anyway, you can look at the trading volume and what's going on right now, but that's pretty incredible that wallet opened up. They had bought 18 Bitcoin, and it said at the time is worth 9,000. Do the math on that, okay? 18 at the time is worth $9,042. Divide that by 18 Bitcoin. What? Okay, $9,402 divided by 18 means they bought the Bitcoin at $522.33 a coin, worth $1 million today. Incredible. So, but this is what happens. No risk it, no biscuit. And remember, you heard it here. You've got the largest company in the world that's betting on BSV. Y'all don't go out and buy millions of dollars of it. I'm not giving any advice. I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to say. You got a guy here that just opened a wallet after 10 years when Bitcoin was $522. Let's look at that story just one more time. I just want to look at that. $9,204. Okay, let's do the math on that. $9,204 divided by 18 Bitcoin. Oh, I was off a little bit. $511.33 on average. They bought those Bitcoin 10 years ago. It cost them $511. And you guys who bought and sold, just remember that if you would have just held on, and some of you have, and by the way, they say there's about 40, whether you believe it or not, there's about 40% of the Bitcoin out there that's been mined that's never seen the light of day. There's a lot of coins out there that nobody knows where they are at, give or take about 40%. I think it's a little over 40%. No clue. So there's a lot of coin out there. But anyway, when you've got, this is why you want to be in charge of your own economy, because you guys may not like banking, but what if you were your own bank? What if you made your own deposits into your own account? That's why Maria at midnight is sending me notes. And like Michael is sending me notes at 12:59. He sent me a note at 12:59 a.m. These are folks, great people, salt of the earth. I don't know Maria yet. But once again, who are up at night trying to figure out, how do I make ends meet? I'm doing cash. I talked to a crypto guy that I met in Austin. He asked me about it. And then I call him up and he was trying to be smarter than me, trying to tell me no to this. And I'm like, why'd you contact me if you're going to be smarter than me? Like, I can't help you if you're going to be smarter. And I don't need to be smarter than him, but he wouldn't even listen. And he brings in $500,000 a year, and it's gone like that because it's cash. So he takes it and puts it in the business, and some of it they're trading, and they make a little bit, enough to carry them the next half of the year. But once again, once you spend the cash, it's gone. When you have credit, every time you put it into the credit line, you get to borrow it back. And then you put more in, you get to borrow it back. It's a rotating, that's why they call them rotating lines of credit. And the more you rotate in there and pull out, the more they give you. That's the American system. Like, why would you not want to do that? But why would you not want to do it for yourself? Whew. I get excited. Holy cow. We got 1,646 people watching. You guys, you can go to my site if you want. There's the great Jack McCall right there. You guys want to have somebody mentor you? Go to creditstacking.com. Look up Jack. Go to Credit Stacking. He's on Instagram. Tell him that you saw him on TV. Tell him Fly Mackey was talking about him on TV, and go over there and sign up for his program. $7,800. It's worth $70,000. It's worth 80. His program is worth 80 grand. He sells it for like nothing. But for the rest of you, you can click on the credit button. If you go to my site here, click on the credit. If you want to just ask me some questions like Maria did, she didn't fill out the credit one, but she put her name in here and said, yeah, I want you to send me some info and I want to talk to you. She said, I want to be part. But if you want to do credit, fill out the credit one, hit the apply now, put your info in here. We don't ask anything too stupid. Your name, phone number, email address. What year was you put in? How many credit cards you have? How did you hear about us? And how much liquid cash do you have? This is what's important right here, how much liquid cash, because that will give us an idea of how we can help you strategize to go get massive credit and lines of credit from the bank. Not all of you are broke dick mofos. There's a lot of you out there with great credit and a lot of money. Just go fill it out. All you have to do is go to where? Go to smartmoneyculture.tv/credit. See this right here? Hit the credit button or the contact button, either one. If you want to, you don't have to. To the 1,654 people who are watching, thank you. Say hello to Bruce and help get him to the UN blockchain event on September 26th. Help him get there. It cost him about $150,000 to be at that event and to run it, what he's going to do there. Help him get there. We're going to interview Donald J. Trump there too. And all the famous people that you'd want to hear from is going to go through the booth there. So help him get there. If all 154,000 of you just gave him $1, that would meet his budget that he needs. By the way, traveling, doing these events, they're not cheap, number one, and they're not free. You see these guys who go to these events who put their money into it. It's not free. We are using leveraging credit though. So that's what you want to do. All right. You've been watching the Fly Mackey Show here on Bruce Porter's channel here on X. We appreciate you. By the way, don't forget LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, where else? YouTube, and half a dozen Twitch, and half a dozen other places that we're on. Thank you for being loyal watchers. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great